where the top of the tire leans inwards, can give more grip in the corners. But too much and you're looking at premature wear on the inside of the tire. It's a balancing act, and each track requires its own setting.
All about finding that sweet spot during these sessions, like tuning a didgeridoo, but way faster.
Haha, and a lot noisier. But you're right, in India, we fine tune until it feels just right. Every lap here is a step towards perfection.
Mr. Bang is really opening up the taps now, their first flyer of the session. This is where we start to see what 2003 Mercedes-Benz CLK DTM C209 has got under the hood.
That's right, Rob. They're shaking off the cobwebs and really starting to push. It's all about finding that sweet spot between speed and control on the circuit. It's all about finding those little tweaks, adjusting the line here, braking a tad later there. Every lap is a learning curve. Like the opening chapter of a book that sets the tone for the whole story. They'll be checking how the car is responding, getting a real feel for the conditions today at Lausitzring DTM.
Mr. Bank is getting to grips with the 2003 Mercedes-Benz CLK DTM C209 in this practice session. Several steps ahead.
Spot on. They're mentally mapping each corner, each straight. It's not just about the car, it's about strategy and foresight.
Chris Ilduke has a best lap time of 1:28.240. a bit like looking for water in the outback when drivers are searching for that sweet rhythm where everything just clicks.
Spot on. It's that elusive flow state. When everything syncs up, the car, the track, the driver, that's when magic happens.
Smells like Wee is on the outlap, not just warming up the tyres, but also warming up their instincts, getting that racer's intuition dialed in.
True that. They're getting the feel of the track, the car, the conditions. It's all about setting the stage for what's to come.
First series lap is the books with a time of 1:25.411. Good effort, but I'm expecting them to really push the envelope in the next few laps.
Yeah, it's about building that momentum, Rob. Fine-tuning their approach with each turn, each lap, getting more out of the car for themselves.
Clocking at 352.198. They're getting the grip of Lausitzring DTM, feeling out its quirks and corners.
It's like the first round of a chess match, Rob. They're making their opening moves, setting up for the later, faster laps where they'll really show their hand.
There's the first flying lap for Patrick Schwanz, hitting 1:25.569. It's a start, but they'll be looking to iron out those kinks as they get more laps under their belt.
Right on, Rob. It's early in the session, so there's plenty of time to experiment and find those extra tenths of a second.
With just 67 minutes left before we move to qualification, there is not long left for these drivers to finish their preparations.
It's about syncing up with the machine, getting that perfect harmony between driver and car. It's like a prelude to a symphony that's about to unfold on the track.
Posted 2:55.672 in their last lap. How will they do on this one? Mate, these drivers aren't just burning rubber for the fun of it. They're chasing the ghost, that perfect lap that's always just out of reach.
Absolutely. Back in my racing days, I used to call it chasing the dragon. It's that feeling when you know there's still a little more in the tank, a fraction of a second in the tank.
45 minutes left in this practice session. Alright, YOV has put down a 1:30.294. It's a decent benchmark, but I reckon there's more juice to squeeze out of that 2003 Mercedes-Benz CLK DTM C209.
For sure, Rob, it's early days. They're just starting to sync up with the track. We'll likely see those times tumble as they dial in. Right, and every racer knows this outlap is precious. It's their first handshake with the track today, feeling out its mood and temperament.
Has a best lap time of 1:28.240. Has a best lap time of 1:25.212. Is out there, taking it slow and steady on the outlap. This lap is like the calm before a storm, a moment of zen before pushing the limit.
That's right. It's about understanding the track's personality each day, each lap can tell a different story, especially at a track like Lausitzring DTM.
Finding its best launch. Once you've got it, you're unstoppable.
Couldn't have put it better. Finding the perfect launch is all about repetition and adjustments.
first flyer is a solid start, clocking in at 124.601. They're getting a feel for the track, but there's room to shave off a few more seconds.
Absolutely, Rob. It's all about finding those little tweaks, adjusting the line here, braking a tad later there. Every lap is a learning curve.
Posted a 141.115 on their last lap. How will they do on this one? There's the first flying lap for Raimo Pedersen, hitting 126.204. It's a start, but they'll be looking to iron out those kinks as they get more laps under their belt.
Right on, Rob. It's early in the session, so there's plenty of time to experiment and find those extra tenths of a second.
The anticipation is high as the drivers line up for the qualifying session at Lausitzring DTM. An outstanding display from Patrick Schwanz in this qualification session. They have been on fire, putting in blistering lap times and currently sitting at the top of the leaderboard. It's a statement performance, showcasing their speed and determination. Session, showing incredible pace and skill. It's a Patrick Schwanz has completed their outlap. Impressive work from YOV, who has claimed 6th on the grid. Now, the focus is on maintaining their composure and pushing for an even better starting position.
You're spot on, Rob. Yov's current position of 6th is a testament to their skills and determination. Now, they face the challenge of maintaining their position against hungry rivals.
Completed their outlap. This little team has displayed promising speed during the qualifying session. they be able to find that extra edge to move up? And there goes CLK, currently in position 4. They've shown great skill and consistency so far. With a few minutes left, there's still time to improve their result. Impressive display by Smells Like Weed, currently sitting in position 5. They've set a competitive time, but the question remains whether they can push even harder to secure a better starting position.
Couldn't agree more, Rob. Smells Like Weed has positioned themselves impressively in fifth. Now, they need to build on this foundation and strive for an even better race result.
There are just over 10 minutes left in this qualification session. Pedersen has completed their outlap. A strong showing from Mr. Bank as they currently sitting there. With the session drawing to a close, they will need to dig deep to find the extra burst of speed to improve.
Great analysis, Rob. Mr. Bang has shown excellent pace to secure 8th. Now, the focus shifts to whether they can use their track position to their advantage in the race.
Themselves well in 6th during qualifying. The challenge now is to assess their competitors and strategize how to move up the order for a better race start. What a performance from Mike. They currently occupy 2nd on the grid. Can they maintain this strong position and secure a favourable starting spot? O'Hagan has just completed a lap in 1:25.003. Let's see if they can improve on the time further. A solid qualifying performance by Mr. Bang, positioning them in 6th at the moment. The question now is whether they can make further progress and challenge the frontrunners.
Absolutely, Raj. Mr. Bang has put in a remarkable effort to secure 6th. The competition is fierce, and they'll need to stay focused to defend their position.
Session. Can they capitalise on this position and use it as a launching? Mike O'Hagan has just completed the lap in 1:24.322. Their best lap so far is 1:25.003, putting them in P2. Will they be able to hold on to that spot? Great effort and currently holds 5th. With the session winding down, can they unleash their full potential and improve their starting position?
I completely agree, Rob. Chris Gilduff has positioned themselves impressively in 5th. However, it's crucial for them to keep pushing to potentially improve their starting position.
A solid performance from Megasaurus 55 as they currently hold 55 has completed their outlap. Incredible drive by Mike so far, earning him third on the grid. However, the competition is fierce. Will they be able to find that extra edge to move up? Mike now sitting pretty in first, they have got to be feeling good.
True, but in the world of racing, good isn't always good enough. They've got to keep their eye on the prize and aim for perfection on every turn. Every fraction of a second counts. I am sure they can find a little extra in there.
There are just over 5 minutes left in this qualification session. First flying lap in 1:27.165. A strong showing from Raimo Pedersen as they currently sit in fourth. With the session drawing to a close, they'll need to dig deep and find that extra burst of speed to improve.
Spot on analysis, Rob. Raimo Pedersen has positioned themselves well in fourth. It's now crucial for them to maintain their focus and defend their position in the upcoming race.
Raimo Pedersen has just completed a lap in 1:24.888. Let's see if they can improve on the time further. It's an impressive showing by Megasaurus 55, currently in ninth. They've showcased their talent, but will they be able to find those crucial extra tenths of a second to climb higher? Megasaurus 55 has just completed the lap in 1:26.703. Their best lap so far is 1:26.703, putting them in P6. Will they be able to hold on to that spot? Impressive display by Chris Ilduke, currently sitting in position 5. They've set a competitive time, but the question remains whether they can push even harder to secure a better starting position. Smells like we. They currently occupy 8th on the grid. Can they maintain this strong position and secure a favourable starting spot? Looks like Smells Like Wheat needs to put the pedal to the metal. That last lap times landed them in 8th. Not where they'd want to be, especially with the session ticking away.
True, Rob. It's all about incremental gains. Every tenth of a second counts, and they've got to squeeze every bit of performance out of that 2003 Mercedes-Benz CLK DTM C209.
Raimo Pedersen has secured a respectable 4th in the qualifying session. Can they capitalise on this position and use it as a launching pad for a stronger race performance?
Absolutely, Rob. Raimo Pedersen has shown great potential.
It's a stellar performance from Raimo Pedersen, clinching 4th.
They're in a great spot, Rob, but in qualifying, complacency can be your worst enemy. They need to keep pushing the limits while staying cool under pressure. It may be difficult for them to improve further on that. Sometimes trying too hard makes you slower. They need to drive smooth and smart.
You've joined us on a breezy day here at Lausitzring DTM, as we're getting ready to get things underway. Yoff will be feeling confident starting from pole position. We see Mike O'Hagan sitting in the 2nd spot. Lining up in 3rd is Patrick Schwanz.
Big things expected for Patrick Schwanz today.
Raimo Pedersen has qualified 4th. The race is on. Drivers navigate the first lap.
The first lap can be chaotic, and avoiding any major incidents is key. Drivers need to be alert and ready to react to any sudden changes in the track. There are a few drivers at the point of proof, and a few with some grudges to bear. Will we see a clean race today?
The drivers are jockeying for position. Mike will be looking to get off to a good start and consolidate their position. Looks like Raimo Pedersen's been caught napping at the lights. Gone from 4 to 9 quicker than you can say, good day.
It's gonna be more work for them, but they should be able to recover. It's early days yet, Rob.
The outcome of this race.
I for one am really excited, Rob. The rivalry between Mike O'Hagan and YOB has been building before the race. and this is where scores are settled.
Well, I'll be the monkeys under now, but Mike's plans have gone walkabout right now. They're having a proper Barry Crocker keeping up with life. It's a battle of wills out there, each driver trying to outsmart and outmaneuver the other. Yogi's really making Mike work for it.
It's going to come down to who wants it more. If racing was a rodeo, Yo's riding that bull and not letting go.
Haha, down under we'd say they're clinging on like a possum in a gum tree. It's a thrilling pursuit as Raimo Pedersen, right behind Mr. Bang, keeping the pressure on for 7th place.
They say running is racing, but if Raimo Pedersen gets too close, they might end up trading carbon fiber souvenirs instead of positions.
This is what racing is all about, folks. Three fearless drivers pushing their machines to the absolute limit, inches apart. By the looks of it, Hal, Megasaurus 55s lost their mozzie repellent cause smells like wheeze buzzing right past. Patrick Schwanz is holding 3rd, but smells like wee is right on their tail. Oh dear, Patrick Schwanz has dropped down to 5th. In the grand chessboard of racing, Patrick Schwanz appears to have just been checked. Now stationed at 6th.
Definitely, but Patrick Schwanz is a skilled driver, and they have what it takes to fight back and regain that position.
You know, Yogi, holding off Mike like a crop defending its territory.
And over here, we'd say they're guarding like an eagle protecting its nest. Absolutely. YOV.
Sorry to interrupt here, but, blimey, O'Hagan veered off the track like I veer away from commitment. Maybe they'll come back, unlike my ex. It's like a Barbie in summer. Raimo Pedersen is the snag sizzling on the grill and smells like wheat. The hungry mate waiting for a bite.
Yeah, I really can't see them holding on to this place for much longer.
Strike a light. Raimo Pedersen is throwing out numbers like they're buying rounds at the pub. Smells like weed. Did it sting a bit?
Giddy up. Looks like Raimo Pedersen's kicking the dust up. Smells like we better buckle up and respond.
It's neck and neck, the closest battle we've seen in a while. The race has stopped the press. Looks like Megasaurus 55's playing in the dirt. Took me back to when I tried rallying in my mum's old sedan. Good times, expensive repairs.
Feels like what Mike is doing to YOV. Right now, doesn't it?
With that gap, Mike's practically drafting off YOV, eh?
Exactly. They're so close, it's like they're sharing the same race line. You ever tail someone to a secret fishing spot? Feels like Mike O'Hagan sees YOV as the catch of the day.
It's the classic cat and mouse game, but instead of cheese, the prize is a racing position. Can Mr. Bang steal it from Patrick Schwanz? The tension is palpable. Who will come out on top of this epic showdown?
You reckon Raimo Pedersen's sweating bullets here, Rob? Because I'd be needing a towel by now with Patrick Schwanz right behind me.
Chris Ilduke has the pedal to the metal chasing Raimo Pedersen. Whoa there, Patrick Schwanz is sticking to Chris Ilduke like glue. You reckon Chris Ilduke's feeling the pressure? Cause I sure would.
It's going to be a close one. Patrick Schwanz will have to push hard to create an opportunity.
It's all eyes on this battle as YOV. In first tries to hold off the challenge of Mike.
If YOV were a country song, they'd be about losing their girl, their truck, and now, their lead.
Hey, Rimo Pedersen, if Patrick Schwanz gets any closer, you might need to pop the question. The last time I did that, she said, actually I can't tell you because of the court order.
Every time Rimo Pedersen checks that mirror, they've got to be thinking strategy.
Spot on. It's like a chess match at 300 kilometers per hour. Rimo Pedersen is not able to keep their pace consistent. So far they are 0.51 seconds down.
Can Rimo Pedersen refocus and start putting in the lap time we know they're capable of?
We're starting to see who really has the pace now in this race as Mike is starting to climb all over the back of YOV. Any closer and they may need to pop the boot.
This could be where Mike is going to dive up the inside. YOV is going to need to cover the inside and that will compromise their exit speed.
Tell ya what, Rimo Pedersen's got more followers right now than I do on Insta. Which, to be fair, isn't saying much. I reckon Chris Ilduke's bumper sticker must read, "You can look, but you can't pass." Mr. Bang's getting a good read of it for sure.
So close to Rimo Pedersen that if this were a dance floor, they'd be doing the tango.
Phew, talk about foreplay. Mr. Bang and Chris Ilduke are really teasing us here. I haven't seen this much anticipation since my first date.
The roaring engines are echoing Mr. Bang's battle cry. Chris Ilduke, can you hear the thunder?
This is going to be a nail-biter. Chris Ilduke is defending for their life, but Mr. Bang is right there. Can they do it?
In the dance of speed and power, Chris Ilduke is leading, and Mr. Bang is trying to catch the rhythm. But today, the tune's being set by the one in front.
It's a close race between Patrick Schwanz and Rimo Pedersen in third.
This is what makes motor racing so exciting. The tension.
Sorry to interrupt here, but Bogan cromulence went off track. I know the feeling, just like my diet every weekend.
Well, butter my biscuit. Bogan cromulence just did the hokey pokey right in the middle of the race.
This is what high-octane racing looks like. Patrick Schwanz is breathing down the neck of Rimo Pedersen, not giving him any room to relax. If I had $1 for every time Mr. Bang closed a gap like this, I'd have enough for a pint at the local. Get ready, Chris Ilduke, the thunder from down under is coming. Rimo Pedersen wants to close the gap with Patrick Schwanz. It's not going to plan for Rimo Pedersen. They are still behind Patrick Schwanz. The gap is increasing. I don't think they have an answer for this right now. Patrick Schwanz is in third and is being closely chased by Rimo Pedersen, who is just 0.3 seconds behind. Now, that's what I'm talking about. Rimo Pedersen's problem is Patrick Schwanz. Are they thinking to make the lunch? Only time will tell. Rimo Pedersen misjudged the corner like I misjudged my last relationship. Too fast, too soon.
Dang, Rimo Pedersen went off like my sense of self-worth after my high school reunion. And just as hard to recover.
Look at that gap. It's smaller than the difference between Vegemite and Marmite at this point. Yoff, in second is giving the leader no room to breathe.
Mate, it's so close. I reckon YOV can tell what brand of deodorant the leader's wearing. The next few laps are going to be pure, unadulterated racing magic.
Oi, Chris Ilduke, ever tried tailgating at a barbie? Cos Rimo Pedersen's grill is getting a good look now. Try the snags while you're at it. Good day, viewers. If you're just tuning in, you've picked a ripper of a moment. Yoff is in second and they're tailgating the leader. This is edge of your seat stuff.
You bet, Rob. It's like the leader's got a drop there in the rearview mirror, waiting for that perfect moment to drop. YOV is surely smelling opportunity here.
Patrick Schwanz is placed third at the moment. They are hoping to keep their distance ahead of Raimo Pedersen, who is 3.2 seconds behind.
If this was a country song, Patrick Schwanz would be the one riding off into the sunset, and Raimo Pedersen would still be tying their heels.
You know, Raimo Pedersen reminds me of my dating life. Starts with promise, ends up tailing behind everyone else. Things are getting spicy now, as Mike and YOV look to battle it out for first place. With still determination and laser focus, Mr. Bank is homing in on Chris Hill. The battle lines are drawn.
Like a shark circling its prey. The leader knows it, we know it, and by the looks of it, Yoff is ready for the kill.
Hold it, Thor. Hold the phone. I don't think that's the fastest way around Lausitzring DTM.
Dang, Chris Duke swerving around like me chasing a sale at the car parts store. Always ends up being a wild ride.
Yogi in an exciting position at second. They've been maintaining pace for a few laps now, and with the leader just within a whisper's distance, things are heating up.
Absolutely. I think you would say it's tighter than a kangaroo with a sleeping bag up there. But yet every little decision now is crucial. One slip from the leader and our champ in second might just steal that top spot.
I'm sure Mike in first is starting to notice YOV is right on their tail and is still closing the gap. Can they hold on to their position? It may seem like Mr. Bang is far behind, but Patrick Schwanz can't afford to let their guard down. One mistake will give Mr. Bang an opening to catch up. It's like watching a cheetah chase its prey. Raimo Pedersen will put Mr. Bang in their crosshairs.
I think they are going to take that.
You can feel the rumble from the thick of it, and they're not letting go. It's a battle of wills, and only the strongest will come out on top.
Yeah, it's like the final lap of the Daytona 500. Pedal to the metal, eyes on the prize, and no room for errors. This is what racing's all about.
This is getting exciting. Can Raimo Pedersen pull off a late charge and gain a position?
Surely they've got enough in the tank to pull away. Gonna be interesting to watch this battle unfold.
It's locked in, mate. It's like watching a kangaroo chasing down the last bit of green in the outline. Every move is calculated, every turn precise.
You said it, right. Over here, it'd be like a quarterback island that ends up in the final seconds. YOV is hungry for that top spot, and you can feel it.
It's tighter than a bottle on the couch out there.
I'll try and translate this, and on this side of the pond, it's closer than a hot dog in a bun.
While Patrick Schwanz is not under immediate threat from Mr. Bang, they still need to stay focused and avoid any errors. Any slip-up could cost them their position. The pressure is really on for Mr. Bang in fourth as Raimo Pedersen is closing in. This is where experience and skill really count. We've got a close battle as Raimo Pedersen closes in on Mr. Bang. There's no escape now. Yoff is breathing fire and has locked onto Mike O'Hagan's tail.
On this asphalt battlefield, Yo's determination is the weapon, and Mike is the target.
The gap between Patrick Schwanz and Mr. Bang may be wide, but that doesn't mean Patrick Schwanz is safe. They have to keep their concentration and avoid any lapses in performance.
That's very true, and Mr. Bang knows that as well. They have to drive their own race and wait for Patrick Schwanz to make a mistake if they want to have any chance of overtaking.
We've got an edge of your seat battle between Mr. Bang in fourth and Raimo Pedersen in 5, with just 0.5 seconds between them. This is where the skill and experience of the drivers really come into play. Chris Duke will need to stay focused and keep pushing, even when the gap seems insurmountable. It's not over until the checkered flag drops.
Dang, Chris Duck is so far back, he might start seeing last week's race. But hey, in racing, as in love, persistence is key.
racing is all about. Two fierce competitors pushing each other to the limit. The action is heating up here as Mike O'Hagan is in first, defending from YOV, who is only 1.6 seconds away. And Mr. Bank is having to make the 2003 Mercedes-Benz CLK DTM C209 as wide as possible to try and keep Raimo Pedersen behind them.
Mr. Bang needs to get the lead out, Rob, otherwise their backside is going to look like the Japanese flag coming in.
Good on ya, Chris Ilduke, trailing so far back, reckon the front pack has already written the
Dang, Chris Ilduke is so far back, they're in a different time zone. Hope they remember it's race day, not laundry day.
Pumping as Raimo Pedersen gets within striking distance of Mr. Bang in their race for fourth. Wow, it's a close race for first. Mike O'Hagan is ahead with YOV, right on their tail with a gap of only 0.8 seconds. If Chris Ilduke goes any slower, they'll join me in my failed dreams collection. Front row seats available.
Inches away from glory, and every move counts. Hold on to your hats, folks. This is racing at its finest.
Tell ya what, Raimo Pedersen's got more guts than a cross in a boxing ring. Closing the gap and breathing down the neck of Mr. Bang. Hope Mr. Bang brought the aero guard. Cause is about to get busy.
Every twist, every turn, it's like a tango at 200 miles per hour. Who'll take the lead?
Look at that gap. It's smaller than the difference between Vegemite and Marmite at this point. Yoff, in second, is giving the leader no room to breathe.
Mate, it's so close. I reckon YOV can tell what brand of deodorant the leader's wearing. The next few laps are going to be pure, unadulterated racing magic.
Even though Raimo Pedersen is a fair way behind Mr. Bang, they can't afford to let their guard down. Mr. Bang is still vulnerable to mistakes.
It's a game of inches and miles. Right now, Mr. Bang's got the miles, and Raimo Peterson's counting the inches.
Oi, Chris Ilduke, if you wanted a tour of Raimo Pedersen's rear bumper, you've got a front row seat. Better make your move before the show's over. The race is really heating up. Chris Ilduke is hunting down Raimo Pedersen with everything they've got.
In this high-speed game of chess, it's all about strategy. Who will make the next move?
Blistering pace that none of the other drivers could match. Impressive second place finish for YOV. What a race from Patrick Schwartz. They kept their cool and secured a well-earned third place on the podium.
Great job bringing it home.
Finishing 8th is Bogan Cromulence, with Mr. Bank in 4th. It looks like smells like we has been called into the pits. There's a little bit of wind in the air today here at Lausitzring DTM as we're getting ready to get things underway.
The calm before the storm. I don't know about you, Rob, but I can't wait to see who comes out on top of this one.
Mike O'Hagan has got the inside track starting from pole position.
But it's also a nightmare if they can't hold on to it. Let's see how they will handle the pressure.
And in the second position, the lights are dim, and it's time to move into the
Focus is key, especially with all these cars buzzing around like bees at a picnic. The cream of the crop knows how to find their groove right here.
Establishing an early advantage will be crucial to the outcome of this race.
All the drivers will be jostling for the best position run. Some of them may not make it to the second lap in one piece.
Drivers get this race underway, let me give a shout out to the admin team and Assetto Corsa friends for making this all possible. Heroes one and all.
I'm looking forward to this one run, and we'll see a return to form for Raymond Peterson in this outing in Germany.
I think passing is going to be difficult today here at Lausitzring DTM, so it's going to be interesting to see how these drivers get on.
I'm really looking forward to seeing how this race unfolds.
I can't wait to see how this race will play out.
The first lap can always be a bit of a bun fight as everyone tries to establish themselves. It's easy for inexperienced racers to blow it in Q1.
Oh, this is getting intense. The off is just behind Mike. Hope Mike hasn't got stage fright because Yogi's booked a front row seat to the show. Thick enough to cut with a knife. Patrick Swans is inching ever closer to YOV. We're watching Mike in first and is currently being hounded by YOV with a gap of just 0.6 seconds. stop as Chris Duke shadows Mr. Bang through every twist and turn, determined to claim fifth. Gets a full view of those rear lights. It's like a prolonged "good day" without the handshake. It's an intense battle for position as Chris Duke tries to outmaneuver Mr. Bang. This is edge of your seat racing. You know, it's like watching a healthy herd sheep, Ramo Pedersen making sure Mr. Bang stays right where they want him. No room for a sneaky pass here.
Now that's what I call defending territory. Ramo Peterson is marking the asphalt because they're bringing a secret
with Patrick Schwan, but sorry to cut in here. Blimey, Jurgen's just thrown another shrimp on the barbie of this one. This one's burned.
I reckon why it was you. Thought they were panning for gold off the track there. Sorry, buddy, that's not how you strike it rich.
Good on ya, Patrick Schwans, not letting YOV get too comfy up front. Reckon he's planning a bit of a "good day, mate" on the next corner. Looks like O'Hagan's car has turned into a mobile, no vacancy sign and light. He's looking for a route. You won't find cheap rent here, mate. Blimey, Yoff, might want to check the rear view. Patrick Schwanz is creeping up like an ex on social media.
I've seen close racing, but this is another level.
Oh, it's like a good old game of footy. Every inch is contested. Tell ya what, Mike's defending harder than the room in the last Tin Tan. Yogi, don't have to do something special out of the bag.
Now, if you notice, Mike's shifting that weight balance just right, cutting off the corners, making it a tight squeeze for Wyatt.
Braking development. Looks like that's a mistake from Chris Duke. This could be costly.
Did the wind contribute to that? It's blowing at 12 kph out there right now.
The intensity is off the charts as Patrick Schwanz hounds YOV. Both drivers pushing themselves to the absolute limit.
A misjudgment by either driver can result in a close encounter with tire barriers, and that's one handshake they'll want to avoid.
Patrick Schwanz is falling behind YOV at a rate of knots. They're going to need some serious pedal power to close the gap. A couple car lengths might not sound like much, but when you've got YOV breathing down your neck, it feels like a bloody eternity. Looks like we might have a great battle starting here between Smells Like We in 5th and Chris Duke. It's been tense with a gap of only 1.5 seconds. Well, butter my biscuits, Hal. Smells Like We is watching their lead over Chris Duke shrivel faster than a prune in the sun. We're down to just 1.3 seconds.
Smells Like We's really got their work cut out now. Can they find the speed to fend off Chris Duke, or will we see a new leader in this race?
Speaking of gambling, mate, what's your take on these mid-race fuel stop strategies? I reckon it's like deciding when to throw another shrimp on the barbie.
Timing is everything, like deciding when to pull out the moonshine at a family reunion. Wait too long, and you'll miss the party.
Buckle up, Chris Duke is all over Smells Like We like a cheap suit. Are we about to see some wheel-to-wheel action?
I remember being in a similar situation during my racing days. Chris Duke must stay focused and wait for the perfect opportunity to overtake.
If Smells Like We can keep this up, they deserve a cold one after the race.
Agreed. It may be the sweet taste of victory or help ease the loss.
It's true. Smells Like We's taken a bit of a tumble down the water to 6th. Must have missed the medal.
Now ain't that something? Smells Like We's got a bit of a wrinkle in their plan, but they'll iron it out. Mark my words.
You ever see a crop stalking its prey? That's the energy yogis, grinning right now, ready to strike when the moment's right.
Kinda reminds me of a linebacker waiting for that perfect moment to make a game-changing tackle. The anticipation is intense, and the O's not letting up. Lausitzring, Ramo Peterson's gonna finish this race in the afterlife. Hope they got good insurance.
Well, smells like weed. If you're looking for a way past, you'll need a please and thank you, and a slab of beer for Chris Hill Jr. It's happy hour, and they're not giving an inch.
Smells like weed is certainly pushing all they can, but the gap might just be too much. Unless Chris Ill Duck makes a mistake, it looks like they'll hold on to fifth.
It looks like Mike is in control. They're ahead of YOV by over a second, and it doesn't look like they're going to be challenged anytime soon. Like a scene from a thriller, Yovi's on Mike's tail, hungry for that spot.
The gap's closing, the clock's ticking, and the finish line awaits its champion.
Well, ain't this a ding-dong battle? Chris Hill is putting up the barriers like I do when my mates want to borrow the ute. No way through, smells like weed. Tell ya what, Ramo Pedersen's trailing harder than my belt after Christmas dinner. Reckon he's got a plan up his sleeve, or is he just here for the sausage sizzle?
Y'all remember the tortoise and the hare? Well, Ramo Peterson's neither. More like a snail with commitment issues.
Chris Hill Duke is placed 6th at the moment. They are hoping to keep their distance ahead of Mr. Bank, who is 4.2 seconds behind. Mr. Bank seems to be putting the pressure on Chris Hill Duke.
They need to keep it on the flat stuff. You don't get points for driving over wheels, not in this game.
It's a tight race with Mike O'Hagan in first, just managing to stay ahead of YOV. In 2 by a margin of 0.7 seconds. It's going to be tough. Patrick Schwanz is a master at defending their position. Is there enough time for Ramo Pedersen to make a move? They're going to be even more determined to hold on to that position.
A few lengths might not sound like much, but in racing, that's like dancing on the edge of a razor blade. Patrick Schwanz's footwork is top-notch today. YOV is shaving off seconds like a barber on a busy morning. Waiting for that perfect moment to drop. YOV is surely smelling opportunity here.
Mike O'Hagan's gonna have to defend like a kangaroo in a boxing match.
You Aussies and your analogies. But yeah, it's game on for sure. You're right. Mike O'Hagan in first means to stay cool under pressure and make every move count. But YOV is a fierce competitor and they won't give up without a fight.
This is going to be a nail-biter. Patrick Schwanz is defending for their life, but Ramo Pedersen is right there. Can they do it? You reckon Mike's rear view is just filled with YOV now?
Oh, without a doubt. That's a sight no driver wants in their mirrors. Y'all ever feel someone's breath on your neck? How's Mike O'Hagan is getting a whole lot of it from YOV?
Mike's ripping it up out there, going harder than a roo on a trampoline and leaving YOV in their wake. Mate, I've heard the drivers talking about their car setups. It sounds more complicated than assembling an IKEA bookshelf.
You're not wrong. Back home, we just say it's like trying to line dance on a slippery floor. Takes a lot of tweaks and twists to get it right.
Like Ramo Pedersen is chasing YOV, harder than a frog chasing a tourist who's lost their thongs. It's a bit of a long shot, but we all remember that one time at the pub, right?
freak out that. They can see the horizon, but it's a long way off. Good on you. Smells like weed for keeping that distance.
Remember when Ramo Pedersen was on the pace? Neither do I kinda like my recollection of last Friday night.
When you talk about experience, it's like saying I've experienced my mother-in-law's cooking. It doesn't mean I want to do it again, but Rainbow Peterson, keep pushing.
Cranking up the downforce. Hold on a second. Well, smells like weed spinning like my life in 2020. Someone get him a map or a therapist. It seems like YOV is struggling. They are not able to maintain their pace.
Can YOV refocus and start putting in the lap times we know they're capable of?
The gap between Mike and Patrick Schwanz may be wide, but that doesn't mean Mike is safe. They have to keep their concentration and avoid any lapses in performance. Oh no, hell, look at this. Patrick Schwanz is closing in on Mike. The gap is now just 5.3 seconds.
I'd pay to see that. A kangaroo on a trampoline? But yeah, their mental and physical game has to be on point for these races.
Alright, hold your horses. Mr. Bang is really putting the heat on Chris Ilduke. If I were Chris Ilduke, I'd be checking those mirrors non-stop. Mr. Bang is looking to take advantage of that error as they get in range of Chris Ilduke. That's gonna give him the pull they need to mount a challenge very soon. It may seem like Ramo Pedersen is far behind, but Patrick Schwanz can't afford to let their guard down. One mistake could give Ramo Pedersen an opening to catch up.
Patrick Schwanz is setting the pace out there. Now, it's on Ramo Peterson to find the rhythm and get back in this dance.
Ramo Pedersen is holding third, but YOV is driving their tail. Talk about going walkabout on the track. Mr. Bang's off on a little bush adventure at Lausitzring DTM, aren't they?
Well, slap my head and call me silly. Mr. Bang just made a doozy of a blunder. Exactly, Ron. It's like aiming for that home run in the bottom of the ninth. Swing for the fences and don't look back.
It's like a Barbie in summer. Chris Ilduke is the snag sizzling on the grill and smells like weed. The hungry mate waiting for a bite.
Reminds me of the Friday night dances back home. Chris Ilduke's trying to lead the dance, but smells like weed stepping on those heels.
Chris Ilduke is in the lead, but smells like weed is closing in. The gap is now 0.4 seconds. This is getting intense. Josh is just a few car lengths behind Ramo Pedersen. Hagen, got a mirror? Cause Patrick Schwanz is closer than my unpaid pub tax.
It's an intense race between these two drivers and Patrick Schwanz is going to have to try something here.
Chris Ilduke's really making smells like we work for.
It's going to come down to who wants it more. If smells like weed gets any closer to the back of Chris Ilduke, then one of them is going to need some glue if they want to take this further.
It's now down to 0.8 seconds.
This is where the mental strength of Chris and Doug comes into play. They need to stay calm and composed under pressure.
Hope he's got his budgie smugglers on, because things are about to get wet and wild. The gap between YOV and Rimo Pedersen is fading faster than the last rays of the outback sun. Crikey, Mike's playing hardball today, closing off those gaps like a tight-knit woolly jumper. Good luck weaving through that one, Patrick Schwanz.
It's not over yet. Patrick Schwanz is right on Mike's tail, and if they can find just a little bit of extra speed, they might be able to make a move.
Would you look at that? Mike's thrown down the gauntlet. Patrick Schwanz, you're gonna pick that up. Whoa,
now Mike's laying down some naughty numbers. Patrick Schwanz, you need a cold shower after that.
With that gap, it smells like he's practically drafting off Chris LK, eh?
Exactly. They're so close, it's like they're sharing the same race line. It's a close race as we can see, and Chris Hill is doing a great job defending their position. Will smells like Reed near the squeeze through?
Every gear shift, every pedal push, Yobi, got one goal in mind, capturing Rimo Pedersen's spot. This is what it's all about, though. It smells like Chris trying to stay there.
Like maybe a strongly worded post-race chat.
All eyes on this battle as Chris Hill Duke in 6th tries to hold off the challenge of Mr. Bang.
I've seen Chris Hill duck in tight spots before, but Mr. Bang is breathing down their neck.
Yeah, reckon it's tighter than a Sydney parking spot right now. As we come into the final moments of this epic race, Patrick Schwanz is in the lead. Can they stay calm and bring home the bacon? Nail-biting finish, but Rimo Pedersen claims 2nd place. Well done to YOV for securing 3rd place on the podium. Bang in 4th. Smells like we take 5th. Mike O'Hagan and Chris Hill Duke claim 6th and 7th.